Tonight's episode, The Endangered Species.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com. All right, welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for about an hour, but the goal would be to talk about guns all evening, all night long. Overnight, like the old Art Bell show used to be. So if you'd like to be part of that, look down at the bottom of the screen. It says our Patreons make it possible for us to spend time on projects like this one. Head over to Patreon, check us out. There's a bunch of other people over there that are doing interesting things, and you can subscribe to them. Most people that subscribe to our channel buy us a cup of coffee once a month, so $5 or so. That accumulates, and it lets us do what we do without a bunch of ads and garbage, just with a little annoying dog sound once in a while. So tonight, we're talking about knives and guns of SHOT Show. So I've been asking this question of people who've been talking about going to SHOT Show as content creators, who I tend to hang out with. And I've been asking, what percentage of the show are you, what percentage of the show are you spending on guns, and what percentage of the show are you spending on other things, knives, flashlights, bags, that kind of thing? You know what? I need to save something as before I go too far here, because I changed too many things and I don't want to accidentally forget to undo it. I'm also going to jump over here and open up a new window and send out some links. Anybody wants to jump in, let me know. I told Milspert Duo I'd send them a link. I'll probably send the file to the same people I sent it to last night. And I'm also going to jump over and get the SHOT Show book. Actually, I don't know where the SHOT Show book is. Where's the SHOT Show book? Oh, is it right here? I'll just grab the book that's right here, which is the SHOT Show book. And then drop this. Oops. So effectively, I am just going to jump over to yesterday's email that I sent and find the, oh man, find that and go to the sent link, wherever that is. Grab everybody. Go to here and send it to myself, and then blind copy it to all these people. And do I have Milsurp? Do you have one there or not? What's going on? Weird, why isn't it? There it is. Okay. And then live late night. Okay, wasn't that boring? Okay, that's what it sounds like when somebody mumbles as they send an email in the middle of the night. Right now there's a link out there. We'll see if anybody joins us. Otherwise, I'm going to, I imagine, bring this camera over here, turn it on. There's the puppy. Below the puppy is this SHOT Show book. That's what we're going to be looking at tonight. Let's take a late night read of this SHOT Show book. It'll be completely under the watchful eye of this puppy. He's making sure everything's legit here. He's now sniffing it. I believe that he's decided it's legit. A lot of these are fake. If you look at it on another channel, you might want to verify that it says NSSF. And then on the back, you want to make sure that it says SHOT Show. All right, it says it's a big deal. Is it a big deal? I don't know. First off, where did they get off putting this shotgun coming out of the B? That looks weird, and this looks weird, and it's distracting, and it looks like it's dirty or something. So I don't like this graphic. We'll move on. Bunch of stuff. Something big is coming to SHOT Show Rock Island Armory. I believe that dropped today. Somebody in the chat can say what it is, and then we'll highlight it because it's some gun. Let's see. We know that SHOT Show is Sunday, January 15th because of some golf classic. Monday, there's the SHOT Week Supplier Showcase, which is pretty cool. That's actually a pretty neat like pop-up event that people go to. I'm going to bring people in and then just bring them underneath here like this. Wait. Oh, I can't do that because I'm not screen sharing. Yeah, you're just going to have to be hidden, I guess. So you're in here, but you're hidden because I'm trying to show this book. So feel free to say stuff. You're just hidden right now. So Milsurp jumped in, Ghost jumped in. So let's see. Then we got the law enforcement armed forces kickoff meet and greet. I gotta have a better way to point from this. Tuesday through Thursday, New Product Center, SHOT University. Talking to people about that today. Law enforcement education program. I guess I could bring this closer. Export training sessions, so exports. Exhibit floor open, so that actually right there, that's most of SHOT Show. And then SHOT Week Supplier Showcase, Tuesday only. So it looks like there's a supplier showcase Monday and Tuesday, and that's it. So that's frustrating. We'll talk about that a little bit. SHOT Show After Dark, 5:30 plus, and then that would be Tuesday through Thursday, SHOT Show After Dark. Industry welcome reception, Tuesday evening. So at the same time as SHOT Show After Dark, there's also an industry welcome. So there's two conflicting things. All-Star Jam. Let's see if anybody's going to go to that. Networking reception Thursday evening, and I don't know what that just says, networking reception, so I don't know what that means because we already have a networking opportunity up here. Then Friday, fewer items. This was Tuesday through Thursday, so the 3 main days of SHOT, I guess, and then you get your Friday. 8:30 to 4 is the main SHOT Show. It says protected by USCCA. That's interesting. And then you've got 8:30 to 4 is, oh, no, I'm reading this wrong. All there is on Friday is the exhibits, except that there's also the New Product Center. So the New Product Center, we'll start with that. Well, actually, we'll start. First off, I just read a bunch of stuff. You guys are in here. I'm just showing the screen. I'll put it back to everybody. Any comments, feedback on that, whatever this is called, the syllabus or the, I don't know, is that a table of contents for the show? It's not really. It's a schedule for the show, I guess.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that maybe may not know that the supplier showcase is Monday and Tuesday, which Monday is range day. So a lot of people may not understand that it's not just Tuesday. But if you go to range day, you're not going to go to the supplier showcase, you know?
Yeah, so there's definitely some decisions, right? Some choices you got to make. So the supplier showcase is, how are you going to describe it? Did you go to it, Milsurp?
No, but I have talked to our supplier at the corporate office at the gun store, and he says basically it's where they go and they talk to their industry reps and kind of work with what they're going to try to carry for the year. That's what he's always told me what it is, but I've never been to do it myself.
No.
It's actually pretty cool because you have like Velcro, you have like zippers, you have little components.
It's that kind of supply.
It's really cool, actually. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Reggie.
Different supplier showcase what I was thinking of, he told me then.
Yeah, it must. He's probably thinking of like SHOT in general, and he's talking to suppliers. That the supplier showcase is essentially it's the materials, the manufacturing components. Used to just be distributed throughout SHOT. There's probably a map in here, right? So normally SHOT Show is just this random mess of booths and stuff. Is there a map in here? What the heck? There's no map in here. That's the only map we got. Come on, really? Oh, wait, here's the maps. So normally it's just this crazy complicated thing of booths, and I'd have to screen and zoom in again. But no, like the booths are all over the place with being big and little or whatever. and then interspersed between them, you'd be like, I don't know, you guys have been there. It's like, boots, and then the next booth is like selling Velcro, and then the next booth is selling duck decoys, and then the next booth is like safes, and then the next booth is like duck calls, and then the next booth is selling pistols. It's like just crazy random order. So what they did is they took like the Velcro and the straps and the buckles and the other things that are the components of other stuff, and took them and put them in a separate room. They put them upstairs in a separate room. But then it's also products that supply other places. So you got machinery up there. You've got subsequent, what do they call, like subsidiary products? So like all the stuff that goes in a first aid kit is a supply to the first aid kits, I guess. So there's all kinds of different stuff up there, but essentially they took these things that were more industry specific and put them into a separate room and call it supplier showcase. And I can't remember anyway the history of that anymore. And I don't know if it's interesting for people or not, but it started out, I think, as a whole day, and it was just Monday. And then it was like, oh, no one goes to it because you have to go to range day. It's either or. Then they made it 2 days, and then they decided to put it upstairs for 3 days or something. I don't know. They've kind of shuffled it around. So this year, you get it Monday, like Ghost said. So you have to make the decision. Either you go to the supplier showcase, which is at the SHOT Show, which is at the place where it is, or you got to go to range day, which is not at the place where it is, 40 minutes away or something. Very difficult, if not impossible, to do both. You could make an appearance at both, but you really wouldn't be able to check both out, really. And then this law enforcement armed forces kickoff is at 5:30 to 7. You got anybody going to that? Sponsored by Dan.
No, but that sounds like something that I think could be interesting. I don't even know of anyone. I've never talked to anyone that has gone to that. Is that new or what?
I think it's new. I've never heard of it. Law enforcement and armed forces is kickoff meet and greet. So it's like what it's replacing. We're not going to get into that, but so there's a void, and they created a thing. But it's sponsored by Daniel Defense. Separate fees apply. Must be registered for law enforcement education program.
Okay, so what they're probably trying to do is not let just anyone kind of mingle around. You've got to be there as a buyer or an operator or someone that's affiliated with law enforcement or military to go there, which I think is a kind of a cool idea. It's trying to get those suppliers and the buyers and all that probably in the same room. That's not a bad idea.
It's an idea. I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad, but yeah, I mean, that's weird. That's definitely interesting to see something that exclusive at SHOT. I mean, there was a time when there was no law enforcement at SHOT. It was just other stuff. And then there was military law enforcement, like in the end of the 90s, I guess, just before I started going to SHOT Shows, when military law enforcement was even at SHOT Show. And now they've got it to where there's events that are only for them. I mean, I'm not saying that's good or bad. It's just a evolution of the show, progress of the show. But yeah, it's frustrating. I don't like stuff that I can't even go look at or whatever, even if I don't want to. I just like the idea of being able to go there if I wanted. Then the main show, we got the new product center. So basically that new product center is, I think they probably got to pay for it. But let's say you're a manufacturer, you're making little puppies, and you've got the new model of little puppy. So you're going to take that. You might make 100 other boring models of puppies, but you got this new model of puppy. You're going to take just that new model and put it in the new showcase. So I think you can only put one in there. So even if you had 3 new models of puppy, I think you have to pick the one and bring it over there. But I might be wrong. I never really go in there. Do you ever go into those? You guys either go into that?
I haven't, no.
I know we hit the one.
I've walked in, but not really stuck around, yeah.
There's the one over in the Caesar. Well, they had one in the Caesars Forum last year. And I kind of hit that one.
Yeah, they did.
So I hit that one when I was going towards those booths.
But that was the pop-up review that they used to call it. That's what was over at Caesars last year.
But it was essentially the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
took
same kind of thing.
So it's like you don't have to go. So essentially what it is normally SHOT Shows all these booths. Imagine if all of the booths took one item and put it in one little booth. So now you can just go to that one booth and kind of see an extract of the rest of SHOT Show, ideally. But you're saying it was the pop-up preview, which is a whole nother thing. So SHOT Show booths cost some amount of money for the booth, and then bigger booths cost more money. So pop-up preview was an idea they had to put little kiosks, little tiny booths, basically a table that was shared by 3 people or something, in the hallways, and they were super cheap, and there was not much space, but it gave you a chance to hire somebody, stand there, or be the owner of the company or something, stand there, literally stand there. There was no chairs, I don't think, and then stand there with your stuff. And as people walked by, you could say, "Hey, look at my stuff," or do your noisy interview, because there was all these people around constantly. So that pop-up preview was kind of a mess. I don't know. Some people, you guys liked it, I think, but maybe people liked it and didn't like it. I don't know. I don't know if your opinions changed on it, but certainly it's gone, right? Like it was there for a little bit, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, and now it's over in there, like you're saying. It's the pop-up.
Well, I'm looking at the map right now, and it's not in the same spot. Like right when you'd walk into the Caesars Forum and you would turn left in there, it's not in there. So I don't know where
I think they brought it back over to Sands like they had it for the last few years prior.
Well, hold on. So when you're talking, I gotta bring this back up. So this is Caesars. This would be the walkway over here down at the bottom. You're saying it's not here anymore? Oh no, it's not. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think if I remember looking at the book there, I think I remember seeing it's back over in Sands this year.
So the NSSF member lounge is over here now. Are you guys members of NSSF?
Yes.
I am not. I need to become one though.
I think that's where you eat. So used to be eat at the top above the, or below. Wait, I don't remember. I think below the media room, and now you eat over there. So that's interesting. Supplier showcase. So that's level 5. They just don't even show you the media room anymore. Like, yeah, you guys can figure it out for yourselves. We're not going to show you the media room. Literally no media room. Right. So, okay. Anyway, so I guess we're jumping ahead too much. So that was the new product center. Then there's the Shot University. Anybody going to Shot University?
I'll go to a couple of them that I've got friends or whatever speaking. So I'll go to some of it. Yeah.
So the Walk Talk America one, you're paying $40 for it.
What's that?
You're paying $40 for it.
Negative.
Okay. Well, you're getting in for free somehow.
I'm going in with Mike.
Oh, well, that's nice because it's $40 to go in. You can't passes don't get you in.
Yeah.
So SHOT Show University Tuesday. Know that old gun or lose money. Appraisals, markets, and authentication. Weather any storm using professional coaching systems to build resilience and capacity. Masterful marketing to engage the firearm consumer. NICS annual training, the effect of new legislation on NICS and how it applies to you, the FFL. The unique personas that compromise your market. Second Amendment policy making in the executive branch. Then on Wednesday, that was all Tuesday. So those are all happening subsequently. So all of those are happening. None of them are happening at the same time. They're all happening one after another. Then you got on Wednesday, buy now, pay later, how new payment technologies empower our industry and protect consumers. Suicide action plan before and after. I'm guessing that's the one you're talking about, right?
Yes, sir.
Then best practices for meta ads and content. Then building strong customer relations, 6 tactics for high touch customer engagement. Like, hey buddy, you want to buy a gun, buddy? Hey buddy, you want to buy a gun? I'm touching you. So customer engagement that drives a profitable gun retail operation. I don't understand any of that. ATF NICS Town Hall, understanding traditional media, tools you'll need to protect yourself, and accelerating growth with e-commerce, selection and implementation. And then Thursday, there's more. Inventory management masterclass, converting inventory into cash while maximizing profits. All things ATF compliance. Engage, attract, and reactivate with a successful loyalty program. And then veterans, hiring, training, and retaining some of your best employees. Are you going to that one?
I didn't see that one. That might be something I go to because, I might check into that one. I didn't see that one before, so I didn't know that was a thing.
So anyway, I just figured I'd read them, so we often don't even pay attention to that stuff, and that's a big chunk. There are definitely people that go to shot. I guess I could have just looked at it here. It was a lot easier to look at it right here. There's people that go there for that. So the way that works is it's $75 to go in there if you aren't a member in NSSF, and it costs $25 to be a member of NSSF. And it's $40 if you're a member. So basically pay for the membership by just going to one of these. But it's $40 for each session. It is what it is. They've been around for a long time. And Milsurf, you got any interest in going to any of those?
Probably not. Maybe that first one that I talking about, what was you talking about?
Knowing your old ones or something, knowing the value.
Yeah, that would probably be the only one. But other than that, I don't know. I know we're gonna be running a ton, doing some stuff, so we'll see.
Now, for those that are actually going, keep this in mind. The SHOT Show universities are an opportunity to sit down for 2 hours and not be wasting your time. You can sit down for 2 hours and get instruction or be part of it. It's all going to be instruction. None of them are really like workshops. But so if, let's say you're just exhausted, but you don't want to go back to your car and do something, you can go jump into one of these potentially. I think you can just, or maybe do you have to sign up ahead of time? I don't know. It says seats are limited. Don't delay enrollment. So maybe actually there's nobody at the door with a credit card machine. So maybe you do have to. So maybe you could plan to do one of these midday and be that, think, okay, that master class to marketing or whatever, or like the suicide action plan before and after, like that's at 10 a.m. Like maybe I'll go run around, do a bunch of stuff, sit down at that one for an hour and then get back at it or something. Yeah, sorry, I'm allowed to sneeze. I got all upset about it. Got all mad. All right, so we've got the Venetian Expo and the Caesars Forum. The Venetian is where we've been for the last 12 years or whatever. It's been 2 levels of exhibit floors with 1,400 exhibiting companies, special law enforcement and tactical gear exhibits, the supplier showcase with over 500 companies. Wow, there's 500 companies in the supplier showcase room.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that seems like a lot. Unless they switch them out. Maybe it's something like they're there for one day and then they swap them out, 250, then another 250. Then you got that new product center, which definitely is in the Venetian because they put it in the list under here. Registration, press room, law enforcement education program, NSSF member lounge. Well, that's interesting because they show the member lounge literally right here in Caesars. So I guess there's both. There's 2. So there's NSS member lounge, sponsored by Gearfire and Gunbroker. Okay, so both of them. So Gearfire and Gunbroker are sponsoring the NSSF member lounges. That's interesting. Have you been in? I just asked. You haven't been into the members lounges before, or have you?
I went a couple years ago to have lunch. People said that the lunch is there. I didn't realize you had to pay for it. So, but I was in there once, probably 2020, I think.
You said that it is free, or you still have to pay for it?
No, you had to pay for the lunch. It's good lunch, but you had to pay for it. It wasn't a lot, but you did have to pay for it.
Okay, but even though you're a member, you still have to pay.
Yeah, it wasn't like, it was like $10 or something like that. But it was good food. But yeah, I was like, okay, I'm out.
Let's see. So then, new Shot Buyer Lounge, sponsored by Davidson's, and that looks like it's going to be somewhere in front of where the bridge is or something. And then outdoor barbecue on the patio, which is one of the smokers areas. There's now 3 smokers areas. And then food courts on the show floor, and then SHOT store. So the store is another thing. Milsurf, have you ever bought anything from the store at SHOT Show?
I did. I bought a couple shirts and I think a challenge coin last year. I think I bought.
Oh shit! Was it a deal or you just wanted it?
I think it was only like $10.
So it wasn't a bad deal.
No, it wasn't a bad price. And I've started collecting challenge coins and of course different patches. We're trying to work on that. But yeah, I had to get a shirt, of course, being it was my first year there, and so probably swing back by and see what they have this year.
Right on. What about Ghost? You've gone to their store?
Yeah, I buy every year. I always buy a couple of hats and some patches and stuff. I always buy quite a few things every year to give away for people.
Am I missing anything out in the comments? I've really been ignoring the comments. So we are live, and I usually pay way more attention to the comments, but I'm holding this book and this dog's buttons right here. So it's
Well, I think the biggest question in the chat is Pug G going to shot with you?
That's not a sanctioned name, so I don't even know what they could be talking
That's
about.
That's what they called it. Yeah, I'm just letting you know. I'm reading it verbatim.
So let's see. Stock up on every SKU. I don't know what this is. Introducing the all-new Shot Plaza Marketplace for the first time, available only at SHOT Show Great Outdoor Plaza. You can do cash and carry sales of accessory. Wait a minute, hold on. The SHOT Show is the only place where you can see product lines from major manufacturers in the world, as well as 100 smaller manufacturers, innovative, whatever. Everything you need. Introducing the all-new SHOT Plaza Marketplace. SHOT Plaza Marketplace. Where is this?
Do they say where that's at? Because okay, here we go. I found it. So it's over at the Caesars Forum, and it shows. So it's at the Great Outdoor Plaza.
Is it this thing, like right in the middle that they don't have labeled?
No, but so anyway, it's to the left of that. So I'm looking at what companies are there.
For the first time ever, and available only in the SHOT Show Great Outdoors Plaza, you can do cash and carry sales of accessories and other products. Exhibitors will have merchandise for sale, including their most popular outdoor sports accessories. You can now discover big new products at SHOT Show. Why would anybody want to buy a big product and walk around SHOT Show? Try them out and take them home. That's massively different. Never before has there ever been anything for sale at SHOT Show.
I'm assuming like backpacks and maybe like boots and shoes or like
belts
and stuff wrong. Like that, or
This is assault rifles and ammo and giant clips. So, yeah.
Okay, so they can sell guns there?
Well, I'm assuming it's assault rifles, giant clips, and ammo. But no, I don't know idea. I'm assuming, it's like going to be a bunch of like watches and I don't know. Is it going to be SHOT Show versions of stuff, or is it?
Well, the reason why I say they say outdoor accessories, so I didn't know if accessories meant like magazines, or are we talking backpacks or what?
Now that I've read the bottom here, it says everything you need for your inventory. So air gun, airsoft products, ammunition, apparel, footwear, bags, backpacks, equipment, cameras and equipment, cutlery, sharpeners, knives, eyewear, firearms, firearm cabinets. See, that makes it sound like they got a catalog system, but they're not selling firearms. I would be there's no way they're selling firearms. So it doesn't make any sense. But you're saying it's in the Great Outdoors Plaza. What does that mean?
So it's
outside.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
So it's basically where the Ferris wheel's at, that big plaza there. I think it's gonna be the same area where that concert's gonna be on Wednesday nights, from what I can tell.
Crazy. So it says 2,000 exhibits spread over 800,000 square feet. So there's 1,400 exhibits in the Venetian. So that means 3 additional exhibit halls with almost 300 exhibiting companies. So the new Caesars only has 300 booths. And the Venetian has 1,400. That's why if you look at that one map back here again of the Caesars, when you came, let me go back to the full size. When you come across the thing, that one room was all full of booths, wasn't it? I'm like crazy. But when you came across the bridge, that first room had a bunch of booths in it. And then there was a bunch of more booths. And then you would go across that little divide. And that's where that new product center, I thought it was new products too, but whatever. And then there was all booths around that. Mm-hmm. And then somewhere over here, there was some offices and stuff. But wasn't this all booths last time?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean,
they had like the charities, like the organizations and charities over there as well. So, yeah.
So I don't think they're missing that many booths. I mean, once you look at the scale, but it's crazy that's only 300 booths for that whole new building. But they give out all that other stuff. They got all that other access and a new door and everything. Let's see. The Shot Bridge presented by Rock Island Arsenal, USA. So, do they have anything?
Saying the bridge has a sponsor? That's hilarious.
Yeah, the bridge is sponsored by Rock Island. So Rock Island Arsenal, they're the ones from the Philippines, right? Making a bunch of 1911s and stuff. Do they got something new this year?
Didn't they just release a new pistol that or announce it today? That
I don't know. Don't get me lying.
5.0. I thought I saw a video on an earlier day.
So Shot After Dark, industry reception, networking reception,
Sure.
Tuesday from 5:30 to 6:30. So it's $75 and it's an hour. That doesn't make any sense. See, they showed this picture. I didn't know there was a thing outside last year. Is this from us? Is this SHOT
I
Show?
don't.
It is
think
SHOT
that's
Show.
from
It
Shot.
looks like
I
it looks
don't.
like SHOT Show. Look at this guy. It looks like Clover.
No, that's true. But I don't. That's funny. But I don't remember anything happening last year. They did a terrible job advertising it.
Yeah, they did. They sucked at it completely. I mean, look how many people were there though. So that
Yeah,
happened.
I don't. I can't imagine that was last. I don't know. Maybe
Anyhow,
I'm wrong.
so
I don't know.
it doesn't make any sense because this says that it's 1 hour. This must be just the specific industry welcome reception on Tuesday and this specific. No, maybe not. No, this says open to all 2003 SHOT Show badge holders.
Yeah,
So
I don't
that's
think
different
that
than SHOT
there's
Show
a different. Yeah, there's a different one that costs. There is a free thing that you can go to as well.
So Thursday we can go there for free and hang out. That's probably the one I'll go to. It'll be all the losers and whatever, but I don't care. I'm not going to that one. Oh, the other one is on Tuesday, so I might go to that one, but I probably won't. Yeah, so both of these two are the free ones, and then there's the After Dark, I guess. So then Wednesday there's this. What the hell? I don't understand this because somewhere it said that SHOT Show After Dark cost $75 for all 3 days. This says that open to all 2023 SHOT Show badge holders. Open to all 2023 badge holders. This says concert will be free to all 2023 SHOT Show badge holders. Cash bar available.
That's
if you
where
wanna
it
look-
is. Open to. They don't say how much though. Until you said where you saw that $75. I could see that's where they get you.
No,
Where
it
the
says
concert
concert
says-
will be free.
Well, yeah, it says free there, but I'm wondering on the other ones it says open to.
Oh, open.
You can
to.
get
No,
in,
you're right.
but you're
You
gonna
can
pay the
get
money.
it for $50. No, you're right. Like it's not exclusive. You can get in. You're
Yeah.
100% right.
That's the way I kind of understand it.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. That's how it works. That's kind of lame. That's a lame way to do it. At least to word it, just say it's $75.
Mm-hmm.
New product returning to the Venetian. All right. I've never been a fan of the new thing because it's been around for a long time. And it used to be, for whatever reason, you couldn't take pictures in there. So I was like, okay, then don't let me in there. I don't want to go in there if I can't take pictures. I'm media. Why would I want to go in there if I can't take pictures in there? It's kind of useful, I guess, if you forgot to research for SHOT Show and you could walk through there and see what's new real quick. But it was just really, and you had to badge in back in the day because they were scared somebody would take a picture and they want to know everybody's badge. And I was like, that's just too much. That's too many layers of security for something I can walk over there and take a picture of it. You know, anyway, a great break for team regroup. Great for break or team regroup. The Buyer Lounge, sponsored by Davidson's, the NSS member lounges, and an international lounge. They need a lounge for complimentary Wi-Fi. Well, at least the internationals have their own place to go.
One thing I didn't understand with that showcase room that you were just talking about, they say you can't take pictures in there, but then they have a little card that says you can see it at booth so and so. Then you
You
can
go
walk
take a
up to
picture of it there.
Yeah, I never understood that.
It makes no sense. Like, who cares if I take a picture over here? I think it's because they were. I don't know. I think originally when I used to complain about it in the old convention center, it was that long ago. They said it was because there was nobody standing there and they didn't want things taken out of context. It was because of airsoft, really, because that was a long time ago. I'm convinced it was because of airsoft. If you just let somebody take 6 pictures of your gun, they're going to be an airsoft version of it tomorrow. So they didn't want people to be just indiscriminately taking pictures. And I think nobody questioned it. Who likes this little Chiappa takedown that goes in a little tube way cooler than the Mossberg one? Anyone?
That looks pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to check that out just to see what it's all about.
What up, Pink?
What's up, Ghost?
See you in a couple weeks, brother.
Yep.
Carpenter Steel. Oh, the app. Should we do a whole show on the app? Y'all, I was listening to Chris's show earlier today, and everybody was jumping around about the app. So I'm too old because the app, I've been there before the app, right? So when they created the app, it was shitty, and then it was good, then it was bad, and it was good. So I quit using the app. So is the app so good now again, or?
It's the same. I enjoy it for no other reason for organizations. I can go in and go through the list, star the companies that I want to see, and then when you see them, you can unstar, but it keeps a list of all your starred ones, so you can kind of remember. Oh, I forgot about that one. You gotta go see them. But the best part of it is, like, if you're somewhere and you've got an appointment at booth whatever, you can start on the app with your starting point and then pick that booth, and it'll kind of like GPS you like to that booth. So if you get lost, the app, that's probably the best part of the app, is the GPS function.
All right. Well, I'll play with it a little bit. My phone, the other problem is I don't have good phones, but I'm working on getting some hand-me-down phones. Thank you very much. And I'm sure they'll work better. So I'm going to use those for my cameras also this year. But just as you're describing that, no, it does right there. Set exhibits with exhibitors. I was going to say, is there a way that you could say, hey, I'm interested in your stuff. Can we meet? And then they can
Absolutely,
say, yes,
you
our
can.
appointment is at
Mhm.
3. That's super nice.
The app is pretty powerful app. It just looks like it's 30 years old.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
that's everybody can go pound sand. I'd rather them
Right.
not waste money on the look of the app, right? Than
Exactly.
go have free water or something. Yeah. So, okay.
Well,
then
there's
I'm
also a
asking you to do that.
feature. There's also a feature where you can communicate. Like, for instance, there's a couple new people in our group that are going, and we contact through Facebook currently. But once I get their special like customer or their show number, or whatever, we can kind of create a chat group in the app and say we'll meet up at the Smith and Wesson booth at 2:00. So you can just send that message out, and it goes through the app. Plus, you can see the location, all that. So that'll be pretty
Or
interesting
hey,
to try that.
beer at the HK booth or whatever,
Exactly. Yeah.
Pink or Snob is checking out and said, can't wait to see Pink in a little over a week. So you got a stalker.
I've heard of people seeing red, but I've never heard about them seeing pink. So I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, he stalked me last year too.
Oh, they got a U.S. made 1911 maybe.
No, it's. I think it's like an upgraded version of the gun they came out with last year. I mean, it's kind of polymer and steel combination, and the one this year has a red dot on it.
I wonder if it's U.S. made or U.S. assembled. Big difference. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's U.S. made.
Really? Good for
Yeah,
them.
because they've been building facilities here in the U.S.
Yeah, I just didn't know they were done with them.
Is the Philippines the U.S.? No. Well, wasn't it? Am I crazy, or was it like a territory or something one time?
It was probably a territory there for a while after the war, but no, not for a long time.
They've always been sovereign or whatever.
Yeah, kind of like
think
Japan.
so, yeah.
Kind of protected.
I'm probably confusing them with like Guam or one of those things. It was kind of like I don't know what they're called. Kind of take care of them. Anyhow, so then we get Law Enforcement Education Program, LEEP. Take a leap for law enforcement. Take a leap for a cop. In partnership with Law Enforcement Education. No, in partnership, I can't even read what that says. Law Enforcement Today. So let's see. Law Enforcement Networking Reception. It's time to score with high impact training. Shooting range maintenance and best practices. Red dots on pistols. Use of wound simulation in stop the bleed training. Close quarter combat techniques and tools. The culture war on cops, why they're losing it and how to turn the tide. The training triangle, training facilities to provide comprehensive use of force training. It's so interesting. The business of noise, firearms ranges, and the bang factor. Norma presents. Okay. Red dots on pistols again. Virtual live fire training equipment. Daniel Defense presents. Kilo Gear presents. And then increasing officer safety in low visibility situations. I don't know. Do you think of law enforcement going to SHOT Show and going, let's get some up training, let's get some skill building? Doesn't make any sense. I remember times I've been invited to things before, so I shouldn't talk shit. I've been invited to things that were like law enforcement only, to be media or whatever. And they're like, we made a new, I was thinking specifically this thing that was like a corner mirror looking thing. And it was a product that was created, and then it was kind of bounced between a couple of companies. And when this one company got it, they wanted to kind of brand it as a military thing, or I mean a police thing. And they kind of presented it as like, you want to learn about our product, and then you can be more comfortable with our product type of thing. And then the thermals, there was some instruction on how to use and what's so good about thermals and stuff. So I could see that, like, oh, sorry, not thermals, but thermal and what's it called? Infrared thermal hybrids.
Infrared,
When that first came out, there was, I'm trying to think, that was like 9 maybe. Then there was some like, hey, you ever used one? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go off-site into a place. We turn off all the lights. It's completely blacked out. And then we give you hands-on, some sort of do some stuff, just play around, run around and see what it's like to have completely nice thermals or whatever. So I could see that kind of stuff. But to stop the bleed, I don't know. It just seems...
Well, I don't know this is what they're doing, but if they're smart, they would. If some of these LEOs are going to be at SHOT for buying and all of that, we all know that law enforcement has to do continuing education courses, and they get credits for hours. I'm wondering if they're saying, hey, while you're there, if we offer these classes, maybe some of these agencies will count it as continuing education. I don't know. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying that could be kind of cool if they did think that, though.
I'll bet you that's exactly what it is. That makes a lot of sense. And then that kind of can justify, oh, okay, we'll send you because you're going to come back with some education credits or whatever. Exactly. Or maybe they get paid. I can send you on a place to get education credits. I can't send you on a place to go look at new purchasing equipment. Let's see. So Dr. Jim's prescription gun elixir. We'll move on. Straight up
what
deals.
Did you just say?
Some non-Aegis gun cleaning stuff. More than 100 restaurants. Oh, really? There's more than 100 restaurants in Vegas, it turns out. There's way more than 100 restaurants.
There's more than 100 on a square block in Vegas.
Let's see. Did you know, in addition to supporting NSSF through membership, your attendance and participation in SHOT Show directly supports all that NSF does as your industry trades association, from advocating on behalf of the industry in Washington, D.C. and the state capitals nationwide, to providing compliance education, industry research, firearm safety. Oh, maybe that's part of it. Like, hey, we offer whatever industry research and firearm safety programs and compliance education. But, there were a lot of those were like, so you're an FFL, here's all the rules type of classes. Like, there are some of those that go on. The monorail. Let your badge be your ticket. Take advantage of our exclusive discount and add unlimited monorail ticket during registration. Then just scan your badge and your badge becomes a monorail. What does that open up? Do we all have that? The unlimited ride access doesn't begin until the first time you scan your badge at a monorail, and then you'll have.
No, I think like when I think you can pay for it. Like now, you can add it to it, and then when you pick up your badge, it'll already be part of the badge. When you scan your badge, I think it's like maybe $25-$30 or something like that. But it's like unlimited monorail.
It was like $5. Then I'd be like, how cool would it be? We could all just go on the monorail to some place for just to eat, and then monorail back to our cars or whatever at SHOT Show, right? Like that would have been kind of
absolutely.
It maybe, I don't even know where the monorail goes, but if it went somewhere good.
It runs from the MGM to
basically Circus, I think.
Yeah, just a tad north of Circus.
Wait, Circus on the other side of the road. So it goes from MGM.
It makes a big loop, like a.
Well, okay, so it goes from MGM, as we were saying, where it terminates. It doesn't go on the other side of the highway, right?
I don't think it goes over to like Luxor or Excalibur and all that. I think it stops there.
Yeah. So if it goes from MGM, the other side of it is essentially the other what used to be the Hilton. It's now the Westgate. It's the Hilton. It's the Hilton where Elvis used to do all his stuff, and
Yeah.
it's the where that gun show, the antique gun show, is where the monorail terminates.
Yeah, it runs for MGM Grand all the way past the Westgate to Sahara. And it
Yeah.
ends at Sahara.
So then there's the free shuttle service provided by EAA. Rides to and from the Venetian, Caesars, and official SHOT Show hotels as listed here. So no matter where you are in town, you can, or I should say, when you're at SHOT Show, you can get on a shuttle that'll take you to Bally's, Bellagio, Circus. I don't know where Conrad Las Vegas Resorts is. Flamingo, which is dumb because it's right in front of there. Las Vegas Hilton at Resorts World, which is down the street a little bit. MGM, which is that one we just said the monorail terminates into. Paris. Who the hell's going to go to Paris? Sahara, Las Vegas. I don't remember what that is. Tropicana, Trump, and then Weston. Those aren't really that far away, but I guess it's better than walking. It looks like that bus runs every 25 minutes. So for the fifth largest show in Vegas, you get a bus running every 20. So it was probably like multiple buses, right, for that to happen. So multiple buses running all day long. That's just one little level of the amount of stuff you need to have in flux all the time running for a show like this. This says find big deals, and I think this is literally just the beginning of the index. So this book that I'm looking at, they send us in the mail, and like, I mean, how many times did I look at it? It's already falling apart. Do you guys use this book at all, or do you use any kind of paper map when you're there?
Not while I'm there. I'll look at it, when I got mine, I looked through it and all that. But at that point, I basically primarily use the app. It's basically the same thing on the app. It lists all the exhibitors and all of that, but I use the app more than the book.
Yeah, same thing. I'll look up, what booth I want to go to, and it'll pop it up there.
Do you use a list like this to kind of do a Christmas list or a wish list and look through and see like, oh, they're going to be there, highlight. Oh, they're going to be there, highlight, that kind of thing?
I'll do that on the app because what you can do on the app is it lists the same list, but then you can like star it and it'll put it in a list of like all the companies you star. It'll keep track of the ones that you star. So it's like kind of a reminder to go see them or something.
Let's see, supplier showcase for 2 full days. Here's what it says. Tools, machinery, plastics, metal extrusions, fabrics, original, and I don't know what that means. And then fabrication, logistics, software, so that kind of stuff. Otherwise, this rest of this book is mostly the index. So I started with 5 and the letters, letter A or whatever. I'm up to the letter R. I guess there's the Z, so that's the end of it. Let's see. There's something at the end here. Page, these aren't numbered, but 6 pages, 4 pages till the end. Join industry support for suicide prevention. At SHOT Show, resources are available to educate your company, staff, and customers about mental health, preventing suicide, and securely storing firearms to prevent access by a person in crisis. Learn about the importance of reaching out to someone you're concerned about and having a brave conversation. So this is from Veterans Crisis Line 988. So I guess that's just a government thing, or unless it's a NSSF thing. I don't know if you know, Ghost or Mills.
Well, the Veteran Crisis Hotline is a governmental thing. So I'm assuming that they're just giving a seminar on, what signs are and how to deal with stuff like that. I'm sure they'll probably, if they're talking about gun storage, I'd be willing to bet that Sarah Joy will be there with Hold My Guns because she's going to get shot. I wonder if she's going to be involved with that or not.
Well, that's what I was about to say. So I'm saying, though, I don't know who's sponsoring this because it doesn't say provided by the U.S. government, this or that. It just says, 988. And I don't know who. I think that's government, right? The government owns the phone numbers. But it says stop by these booths to learn more. So this is essentially a page in the back of the book to tell you about the booths that are focused on suicide awareness or what they call suicide prevention. Stop these booths to learn more. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Hold My Guns, NSSF have a brave conversation. NSSF member services. I don't know why you do that. NSSF Project Child Safe. That seems like they're trying to pad the folks here. Department of Veterans Affairs. That's real. And then Walk the Talk America. So, they got two organizations, their own organization, and then the Department of Veterans Affairs. Is that VA or is that something separate?
That's the VA. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The majority of firearms fatalities are suicides, not homicides or accidents. Our industry is well positioned to play a role in providing education to help reduce the rate of suicide by firearm. As the president points out, the messenger matters. Our industry can help bridge the gap between the suicide prevention community and gun owners to support secure storage while protecting the right to keep and bear arms. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I'm glad they gave some stuff, but I think this could be a vector. This could be a catalyst. This could be something to champion and support rather than being in the last pages of the book on an outward facing page. In other words, everyone in the world who's right-handed is picking this thing up and doing this. So they're seeing what's on this side. It's like on the wrong side completely for trying to actually get it out there, I think, at least my opinion. This could have been on the front page because we're in in a political situation right now. And instead of like stock up on buying shit, it could have been like, we're changing the playing field. And you could have had other people in here, like the individuals who are doing it. Kim Petters, for example, like actual people instead of just some organizations. But whatever, at least it's something. And whatever, I'm not going to be happy about it. I'm sad and I'm okay with it. But I think, again, they missed an opportunity to put this right at the front and to keep all the people who are going to SHOT Show aware that, like, hey, ready to change the paradigm? First thing we do is end suicide. And then we start walking around and saying, we've already ended suicide. How are we violent? Like, we've ended suicide. Why are you suggesting why do you have to demonize us? But sorry if I'm getting all riled up at the end of the show. So 2023 registration fees and NSSF member discounts. Your participation in SHOT Show, blah, blah, blah. So qualified buyer categories, NSSF members, $35. To be a buyer and you're not a member, $150 to get in. So if you're just a person who likes to buy stuff, $150 to walk around SHOT Show. Law enforcement, you're a buyer, $35. If you're not a buyer, $225. So they definitely don't like cops just walking around in SHOT Show. $225. If you're not a buyer and you're an NSSF member, $225. So if you were a buyer, right, it was cheaper. But if you're not a buyer, if you're not going in there to buy anything, $225 if you're a member. And if you're not buying anything and you're not a member, $350 to walk in the door. I can't even know who is that. That's just somebody who's like, I'm curious to see what's in here. Can I pay $350 to walk through the door? And then you got your registration fees for material suppliers. Okay, so suppliers, I guess, are not buyers. And then non-exhibiting manufacturers. So if you're a manufacturer, you're not a buyer, but you're also not exhibiting, $550 to walk in the door. If you're a member, if you're not a member, $750 to walk in the door.
Holy cow.
Wow.
So if you're a manufacturer and you're not participating in the show, it's $1,000 to walk in the door. And I think that's because they figure if you're a manufacturer and you're not participating in the show, you're not an exhibitor, then you're going in there to do business and just not pay the tens of thousands of dollars to do business. So they're going to charge you $1,000 just to walk in. Interesting. At least that's my assumption. I'm not going to read all the fine print. We've pretty much covered most of this when people go, I wish I could go to SHOT Show. And then we say all the stuff in here. Like anybody can go to SHOT Show except for people who shouldn't be there. Everybody else can be there. So just put yourself in a position to be one of the people that needs to be there. And you can be there. And then there's relatively few ads really for this like ad book or this book or whatever. It's really to the point. So I don't know. It either didn't cost very much to create or They just didn't get a bunch of people to put ads in it, I guess. I never noticed because I don't look at these ads very often, but Glock has this ad for one of their guns. What's up with this all black ad? Am I missing something? Is there some black on black 9mm out there now? Is that real, or is that some fake ammo for the ad?
I'm sure
It looks like
you can
black.
you can probably get components to load it.
Well, I'm just saying, you guys don't know about some.
I don't know of anything now.
Yeah, I haven't
It
seen
almost looks like it's got a cross on the hollow point. So who makes a cross in the middle of their hollow point? Is that an indicator?
Nope.
What's that one that Yankee gets? That's got a cross on it.
Because I've seen, anodized black cases before, not anodized, whatever that stuff is, and I think I've seen. Well, there's black talons are black. Anyway, that would be cool. So that was a little bit of SHOT Show. I guess I was thinking, let's go in here and pull all the knives and guns out of here, but people jumped in, so there was no need for me to just sit here. And then, what do we say, 16,000? There's literally like 1,600. Wait, it's not 16,000. 1,600 exhibitors. Yeah. So there's 1,600 things listed here. There's just no way. I'm just going to take a random sample in the J's. JK Armament, whatever that is. JL Billet, whatever. Joseph something and Company. JP Enterprises, that I've heard of. JSD Supply, okay. Juggernaut Tactical. Julius K9, JW Fishers, JMW Wholesale, K6 Tactical, K-Bar Knives, Card Firearms, Kalashnikov USA, Concept Knives, Chaos Concealment, yeah, probably. Kapler, Casper, KCI, so you go nuts just reading through the list because there's just too many things in there. It's like a list of all the firearms manufacturers, essentially. Anyway, so I was thinking, if this was a different catalog, there has been other times where they separated it by guns and knives and that kind of stuff. If it would have been that kind of thing, because I really didn't pay attention to this before I started the show, then we could have potentially just looked at like the different knife manufacturers. So let me ask that question about the app. Can you say, I just want the knife manufacturers, and it shows you the knife?
Yeah, you can break down the exhibitors by, they have different departments. You can say, here, I want this, I want firearms, I want accessories, I want this, and it'll, boom. Basically, it's all dependent upon when the company signs up, the exhibitor signs up, they have to probably click boxes of what they want to be listed under. They can click 4 or 5 of them, but if they click those boxes, then it'll show up into that little department. Did I kill the stream?
Oh, I just didn't realize I'm muted. So DJ's saying that 988 is national. It's like 911. So if you want to, if you need help for a couple of different things, right? It's like a place to talk, get somebody to talk to or whatever. 988, or if they have, you can text talk to 741-741.
Correct.
So AK-74. It's easy to remember. So 741-741. If you just want to text with somebody, and then 988 if you want to talk to somebody. And like I say, they shoved that in the last couple of pages. It's not like we need to start every conversation with it, but if we're more comfortable and we start every conversation with it, we take some things off the table, like the people that stress out and have bad, poor decisions, but also the consequences of that, where the antis use all that against us. So lots and lots of potential there. I'm glad to see that they're having some seminars, or what they're called, university. I think they're called seminars still. University classes, whatever they're called. Let's see. So Hillbilly Up is out there. One of these days, we're going to get a logo made for you. Thanks for jumping in. I don't know. We went an hour-ish. I started a little bit late, so I know that we're kind of middle of the night for a lot of people. My goal would be to do this show all night long. Maybe with 3 times the Patreons, we could make that happen. So if you're interested, Patreon is a place where you can subscribe to projects, individuals, people writing books, people writing music, or making cartoons, or making some kind of a series or something. And you subscribe to their projects, their products, And most of the people that subscribe to us buy us a cup of coffee. So $5 or less each month. That adds up. It accumulates and lets us do what we're doing. So like I say, about 3 times more than that, what we're at right now, we could probably do the show all night long on the regular. That would be the goal. I really would like to do something where we can chat about stuff that's important, but then also just chat about the collecting side of it, and the just the culture. Where our intersection between guns and our society, guns and the American culture, the history of that, the evolution of it, the future of that. That kind of stuff is fun, but sometimes when we're under attack or when we should be being more than apathetic, it's not wise to just talk about folly, right? So I'd like to have enough time to talk about both important stuff and folly. But till then, we'll kind of focus on the important stuff more. Right now, we're focusing on SHOT Show. So again, it's been about an hour. I don't have to rush everybody out the door, but my goal was to kind of thumb through that book tonight. So using that as what we're talking about, anything that I brushed over here or something that in addition to that book we could chat about tonight. I'm scrolling through the comments to see whoever's live out there, but Pink is probably at work.
No, I'm off.
Oh, okay. Well then, anything from yesterday, because you kind of were in and out, having to listen a lot without being able to really chat, or like I say, anything that book, I don't know what to call it, whatever that guide was I was just looking at, anything that brought up that we should chat about?
Not that I know. I mean, it's a good base to like kind of look at the see who's going to be there this year. But then like I said, I always use the app after I find out that they're going to be there and star everybody.
Well, Sam is asking a good question since I did title this thing Guns and Knives of SHOT Show. Guns only if there's something interesting. So knives, y'all got any knives you're checking out that are already on your agenda, or are knives on your agenda?
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead, Pink.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You're good.
I'm definitely gonna check out Half-Breed blades or Half-Breed from Australia. I've been a big fan of their knives for the past few years, and we've been swapping patches back and forth for the past couple of years. So I know a couple of you guys have patches that I give you from them.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
The koala bear and the kangaroos and stuff.
Yeah, they've got the
Was it the koala bear? That was one of theirs, wasn't it?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome one.
They got a new one that came out this year. I'll pass out a couple to a couple of you guys. So yeah, definitely make sure you find me so I can give those to you. I think it's a wombat, combat wombat this year.
Nice, that's awesome.
But yeah, they've got some awesome knives, and yeah, I've got a couple of their hatchets, emergency hatchets and everything. So yeah, definitely quality stuff.
Yeah, I'll probably spend 10-20% of my time looking at knives. I look for specific kind of knives, but more karambit and like push dagger stuff that, like defensive knives you can carry in your purse and all that. But yeah, I'm going to stop by every knife booth that I see, whether I know them or not. If I see a knife, I'll stop. I love knives.
I mean, peanuts, so I had to wait. But there's like kitchen knives, there's hunting knives, there's like butchering knives, and then like custom knives, like fancy knives, and then the garbage knives. There's like the gas station knives and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of knives.
You'll get them from anywhere from $10 knives to $10,000 knives.
All right, so DJ's saying that Norma, the presentation sounds really appealing. He's interested in all things related to hearing, and that's a part of the industry that's overlooked. I would say it's more than overlooked, probably dangerously overlooked. I mean, we obviously have a lot of hearing protection evolution, but we don't put a. We just kind of we have a lot of assumption there. I think we just assume everybody knows about it, or we give it like a superficial, like remember to wear your eyes and ears, and then we move on.
And that was something I did last year after range day. I pretty much went and shot everything I wanted to shoot, saw what I wanted to see. So I went and hit the non-gun booths, and I went and talked to Peltor, and they had some cool products showing off their new, I can't remember which Comtax they were. I think maybe the 6 or the 7. And it's all Bluetooth, noise canceling, and you can still talk, and it's all wireless. And it was ingenious on what they've done. I would love to own it, but price is a little steep for what I want, but it was incredible. And we went and stood next to a super loud generator, and you didn't even hear the generator. And you could talk to each other in a normal voice, standing right in front of each other. So I always like seeing those companies out there and seeing where they're expanding, especially on the hearing protection side.
And all these shows about new people going, I don't think anybody's brought up bringing your own ear pro.
Well, I'm bringing my ear pro.
I'll bring my own ear pro over here.
Especially, noise can or the electronic ones. You probably do this as well, Ghost. You don't want to be yelling especially at range day, trying to talk to somebody at range day. That's not how at least that's not how I like to work with it. I like to be able to talk in a normal voice, just communicate in a normal tone.
Yeah, you're not going to find too many people that are there working that have earbuds in. Like everybody that's working is going to have something comfortable and decent.
But I don't shy away from taking the nice.
Most are great.
Yeah, and I know they had like a whole stack of them when you walk in to range day last year. I think 3M was giving away all their hearing protection. I didn't shy away from taking it. It was free, so.
Yeah, and they're worth like $20.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it sits out of the range.
The cheap, like the yellow or the little yellow iPro also, like 3M is going to give you iPro and AirPro. So if you don't bring it, they will give it to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I hear you. But I'm just saying it's not noise canceling. And like you're saying, everybody there has noise canceling, decent stuff on. So you can go up and just talk. And if you're not wearing noise canceling, you're the one going, blah, 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 blah. And everybody's like, what are you yelling for? Nobody needs to yell here. I'm going to say this. I think Milsurp's the only one that hasn't heard me say it before. Or maybe you have. But there's, you can only make one first impression. So if you walk up with, the iPro that they give you as you walk in, the Ear Pro they give you as you walk in, that like shittiest of all badge holder thing that they give you, like that plastic tooth or was it dental floss looking thing that they give you originally, because they know you're about to get another badge holder from somebody. But then alternatively, if you go right over to Geisley and get theirs, you start walking around with a Geisley badge holder, you might as well like also wear a t-shirt that says like, I've never been to SHOT Show before, or like, I'm not totally prepared for the show. So I think having your own ear pro is like having boots that are worn in. It just allows you to participate without paying attention to the necessary support gear. So having a badge holder that has pockets and holds your pen and you're familiar with it is different than, you're more comfortable. You look like you know what you're doing. You've been there around you've been in this rodeo before, compared to the, I'm going to get everything, the default version that they give you as you walk in for free, because I wasn't prepared and I didn't think about where I was going ahead of time. I've never been to a trade show before. So I'll do probably, if I can fit it in, I'll do a badge holder video. Or I'll bring the badge holders to SHOT Show and do a badge holder video at SHOT.
Yeah, that's one thing She Fires was asking me is I told her, hey,
what?
She was asking me a couple questions, and I told her, if you get the chance, get a badge holder before you come, because you're not going to get one when you register, when you go in to register. You're going to get some chintzy little string that holds it on, and if it's any sort of windy out at range day, that's going to break off and you potentially lose your badge. So find one on the internet. If you got to spend $5-6, get you a nice little one.
No,
get you.
No, don't do that. Go to Tactical Tailor, spend $25 and get it.
We found a nicer one, and we got her set up with a nicer one.
Oh, so. Good. Yeah, so it's literally like your paint job. It's like you're going to be wearing it. It's going to be the first thing people look at. Who are you? So it's like the picture frame. It's like the car you drive up in. It's like the suit you're wearing. They're going to look at that and go, okay, and then they're going to realize, okay, it's in the cheesy badge. They're going to see who you are, and then it's in the cheesy badge holder. Boom. Like, they see who you are. Oh, it's in the badge holder that's been around the block a few times. Okay. Oh, it's in a $25 made in the USA badge holder. Okay, because you didn't have to go buy that. You could have gone $5 and got it made in Korea or whatever. It works. It looks like the one made in USA. But trust me, people that are there who do nothing but go to trade shows all the time, again, it's a paint job. It's your suit. It's your car. It's your smile. It's like literally your first impression. And everybody that walks up would look at when you're walking around SHOT. Look how many people are using the defaults. Look how many people are using the $5 version, and then look at the people that are using the real ones. And there's a difference. And I mean, I'm whatever. There's impression. It's hard to judge the weight of that impression. But to some people, I'm never going to do business. I'm not saying me, but like some people are like, oh, okay, amateur. Come to me when you've been here for a few, been around the block a few times. So you made it, you've just, first impressions go, you've just sealed the deal that you're not doing a business with this person. Where if the other side, it's not like, oh, you got a badge holder, we're doing business. But it's like, oh, that's a $25 badge holder that's made by a company I respect. Let's hold the door open for a minute and see why this person why should I listen to this guy? But you know what I mean? It's sort of like that wink, wink, nod, nod. I didn't have to spend $25 in the USA, but I did. I don't know. Maybe I think too much of it, but just, I don't know. What do you think? Am I crazy on my badge holder theory?
No, but I'm a badge holder weirdo, man. So, I mean, like the first thing I did back my first year of SHOT Show is as soon as I got approved, I went online, and I think you're even the one that told me about it, G, the Tactical Tailor. I went online and I bought a Tactical Tailor badge holder. Like that was the first thing I did. So I was like, okay, like I get the fact that there's things that are cheaper than whatever. But yeah, I mean, like you said, first impressions are good, and yeah, you're gonna get what you pay for. $5, it is what it is. It might work, but the $25 Tactical Tailor, it brings so much more. You have a pocket for business cards. It's got a pen holder. It's got all sorts of things that you're not gonna get with other companies, and it's made in the USA, and it's really real. I've been using it since then, and I still to this day, not even one stitch has come out of place in it. So it's really well made.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing, unless you lose it, it's like a wallet. It's not going anywhere. And if you're going to shows for a long time, it gets worn in like a hat or like a pair of boots. So you get familiar with it, and you can just whip out your business cards. You can put somebody's business card into a place where it's supposed to be. You're not going to lose it.
Sam's got an interesting question out there.
Huh? What?
I said Sam had an interesting question out there. I mean, it sounds crazy, but a lot of people don't know.
So he's asking, can you carry your sidearms into SHOT, or do you have to leave them in your hotel or vehicles? I carried into SHOT one year, and I was walking around, and I'm like looking at this FLIR, essentially pointed down the aisle, and I didn't realize it was pointing down the aisle. I was walking up to this FLIR, and I was like, oh, look at this video of somebody walking around with a gun in their pocket. It's so obvious. Look at how it, and I'm like, oh shit, it's looking down the aisle. So that's when I quit carrying a SHOT. You can carry. I mean, it's a free world to do whatever you're going to want, I guess. They tell you not to. You're not supposed to. You're going into SHOT. I mean, you're 6 feet away from a million guns. So I don't know. I don't know. If you're convinced that however many SHOT shows there's been since 1970 something, that this is the year the SHOT Show is going to go crazy, do what you're going to do. But they don't want you to.
I think you're pretty much in the safest place in Vegas at SHOT Show, honestly.
And I was carrying a taser. I wasn't carrying a gun because it's not you're supposed to carry a gun in there. I was only carrying a taser. So that's what it was like. Oh, I could see that. So I could have definitely seen a gun. Boom. But you can't carry a gun in there. You know what I'm saying? You still can carry your wits about you, and you can still carry your sense of awareness.
And you can carry a really cool knife.
I wouldn't be caught carrying in the Vegas casino, really. Gizzard doesn't realize that you can carry drunk in Vegas. I mean, not drunk, but you can drink in Vegas and carry. Vegas has got some pretty cool carry rules. I'm pretty sure you can carry in all the casinos. I'm not aware of any that you can't carry in. Have you seen any no carrying signs?
No,
Well, downtown Vegas or whatever it's called, you can't.
You can't or can?
You cannot like downtown or like North Las Vegas, whatever is like downtown Vegas, like the old Vegas. When you cross into that city line, you can't. It's crazy.
Oh no, you're talking this town of North Vegas. That's not
Yeah.
that's not Frontier. That's the other
No,
casinos are
like,
not all the way
you
up.
cross that city line, and it's crazy strict.
But so yeah, I don't think you need to worry about carrying in Vegas.
I was going to say
Maybe
I
one of
always
my
carry in
restaurants.
Vegas.
Yeah, I've always carried in Vegas. I have to remember when I'm going into the building to deal with it, but yeah, whatever. I go to California. I like carrying, but I'm not gonna live in fear of the potential of a bad guy. Like I know how to deal with shit. The gun makes it a lot easier, but I know how to deal with shit. So. Plus,
Carry
most of
knife
the
and
bad
carry
guys are shooting
fist.
9mm, and if you just go right before the 9mm hits, it doesn't really hurt.
Yeah, so it bounces off of them, yeah.
But
Gee, I gotta jump out. I gotta go to bed. I gotta work in the morning. But yeah, thanks for having me. And if you continue to have shot talks every night, I'll jump in as long as I can.
right on. Yeah,
I'll see you guys
no
soon.
reason
Pink,
not
I'll
to.
see you in a couple weeks. Millsap, I'll see you in a couple weeks as well.
Yep.
Sounds good. We'll
Same,
see you
man.
later.
Y'all be good guys.
Yeah, we'll probably wrap it up unless there's other questions coming in. There's Gizzard out there. He's got a link. But I don't need to do a marathon thing every night. I do have some other stuff I could work on tonight. But like I said, don't need to shut it down. So if there's other questions, feel free. But I mean, mainly there's just not too much concern. It's what it honestly is if I don't. And when I go, I'm trying to think about the day, and then I'm thinking about the week, right? And I'm thinking about the potential. So for me, carrying is actually kind of not carrying is kind of a nice because, I mean, I'm not like going in there with empty pockets, but without having a 357 in the pocket, then I got more, just got a little bit more energy to carry other stuff out of there, like a handle of pocket or patches or something. So I hear you, but it's not like, I hear you, but it's not that big a thing, really. I guess it is for some people. So I guess that's if you're looking for a thing to draw the line, then yeah. And then I guess potentially if they would have been D-bags about the whole mask bullshit, that would have been a thing. But I've never put one on. Sorry, I never put one on in Vegas. I had to put one on in Tucson a couple of times. But those of us that were living out west were not concerned about it because we weren't going to do anything. And then they didn't complain or whatever, even though they were acting like they were going to. So I think more people would have been concerned about that than the carrying part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that every once in a while people do ask that, and pretty much the rest of Vegas though you can carry. So if you got a reciprocity, I should say, they don't have constitutional yet. It'll be cool when they get constitutional.
Is that
Yeah, well,
coming
there's
down? Is that coming
What?
down the line?
I don't think so. They had a ballot initiative to become Washington, like assault weapons ban and universal background check. So they're one step away from being the other direction. I'm just saying it'd be nice if they did. I don't think they're on the way to, at this moment at least, they're not on the way to go on the other way. Because of, well, whatever. I don't know why. One of the reasons why.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll just go to off air then so we can chat a little bit about secret stuff that I don't like to talk about live, but not because anybody did anything. It's just that, we've already been going for an hour and I do know the show's in the middle of the night. We're trying a new format, so give us some feedback on the format. If you're listening to this in the podcast, this is weird because I'm not talking to you until like 2 weeks from now, technically, because I usually post the stuff weekly. And by the time you listen to this, it might be 2 weeks out. So you may or may not have experienced the new format of the show. But almost going on 1,500 episodes, so I have no intention of doing the same show that long. So every once in a while we change it up. And now that we're in season 8 of the Daily Gun Show, We're changing up the format a bit, so looking for some feedback on that. If you'd like to participate, let us know. Because they're saying, I just looked, firearms are not allowed in the Venetian at all. So thanks for that. Because the Venetian is essentially the casino and the property that the Sands is in. Didn't the Supreme Court rule, Mike is asking, didn't the Supreme Court rule constitutional carry legal everywhere? Not necessarily. They have had multiple Supreme Court decisions. The most recent one said that a state can't infringe on national level stuff based on, what's the way to say it? Based on the good of the few outweighs the good of the many. Is that the way to say it? And now, unless there's historical precedent for that, constitutional interpretation wins out. So the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment. None of this, like the Second Amendment is okay, except for these people are affected by it, so you don't get a Second Amendment. That's, I forget the term for that, but anyway, that's what we've got recently. Before that, Bruin, yeah, well, New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus the loser Bruin, yes. But prior to that, we had Ezel, which is a lady out of Chicago who fought the city of Chicago all the way to the Supreme Court in 2010 and in 2017 and won both times. And she was attacking the city or fighting the city of Chicago because they refused to acknowledge McDonald, who was also city of Chicago versus McDonald. And he won against the city of Chicago, who insisted that the Heller decision didn't apply to the city. And the Heller decision, of course, was the big one. So we have a group of these Supreme Court wins on our Second Amendment side since Heller 2008, am I right? And then McDonald 2000, and I have to go look to be sure, but am I right about Heller in 8? Anyway, we just had the 20th anniversary, so it might have been a different one. But anyhow, we had Heller, then we had McDonald, then we had 2 Ezels, and now this last one. Because they're just saying the SHOT Show website states no personal firearms or ammunition allowed. And it's always been like that. So definitely not encouraging that. And like I say, they weren't putting up a FLIR. It was really just an example. It was just to like show what FLIR can do or like what thermal. It wasn't really FLIR. Well, I guess it was thermal. It was a thermal scope routed into a television just to show, this is what it looks like, what you look like right now. But yeah, exactly. And it's probably, it's the same reasoning for any gun show. But that's that, you're going to get, inevitably, you're going to get somebody that goes, hey, look at mine. And they don't pay attention to the fact that they're pulling out their loaded one and start fiddling with it. So just in case it's never come up before, the guns at SHOT Show, I'll have their firing pins removed. And maybe more. I don't know if you guys fiddled with them enough. Every once in a while, you'll be like, "Oh, this gun doesn't even have a whatchamacallit," because like it doesn't have a firing pin safety or something. Like they don't always have complete guns there.
Yeah. It's usually the firing pins that are taken out.
But like sometimes on the, like I've noticed, like they won't put a complete hammer in, or like the trigger would be similar but not complete because they don't need them and they don't bother. So they're like they know the gun's going to get trashed by everybody fiddling with it all week.
Yeah.
Now they're not going to put the wrong gun out, but I have seen like wrong parts in a gun or like crude parts in a gun. Mike is saying really interested in the New York case where they made the anti-gun laws after the Supreme Court ruled. Is that he's talking about the recent one now? The New York's Concealed Carry Improvement Act, or whatever it is. How that one's being challenged.
I think so. Well, they had put up laws and then they took them down because somebody was challenging it. And then I think they put them back up.
Well, as soon as I can get to where I can actually do it, and I think we're actually making some strides to that end in the last months. I'm going to retool Every Second Matters to be very much like the Hey Jackass site. Hey Jackass is an accumulation of data. It's like a running, Milsurp, are you familiar with Hey Jackass?
Yeah.
So I want to do that, except nationally for everything. and not, tone the sarcasm completely out of it. Like, I understand what they're doing, and I don't know why. I don't know who it is. Do you happen to know the people by any chance?
I don't.
I've always thought it was interesting. I used to respect it, but I don't like the sarcasm. It doesn't help anything, and it unfortunately encourages some bullshit, I think. So I don't really like it. I think it, well, like I say, I'm going to try to do similar. I can't do the coding. I'm not that good at coding, but we'll get people that are, and get something like that for the whole country. I don't know why we don't have that already, but anyway, I'm going to retool Every Second Matters to do that. At least that would be my goal, because that's something that's frustrating as hell. Like, we're about to go to Vegas, and I don't know nothing about sports, but I know every time I want to go to a buffet, I almost always have to walk past the sports place of whatever casino it is. And they got this giant scoreboard of like every sports that's going on, racing and sports and like this and that, and people playing darts and shit. Like every sports ever, there's this giant scoreboard, and you can just sit there betting on everything, right? I think. And why isn't there that for 2A? What the hell? We have national level organizations. There's at least one national level organization bringing in $16 million a year. They pay themselves to market to bring in more, and they don't do anything. So why isn't somebody out there doing a hey jackass for all the 2A issues for every state? Anyway, so that's what Every Second Matters will be eventually. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for asking questions. Like I say, I like doing stuff in the middle of the night. Pink is one of the people that works in the middle of the night. I guess Milsurp doesn't, but he's allowed to participate. But people that do stuff overnight are often unappreciated. They're usually taken for granted. People don't even realize it. I mean, watch any movie, like any kind of thriller or horror movie. Like, people just take all kinds of stuff for granted. Like, oh, the streets are shoveled. Like, what do you think? Snow magically jumps up out of the way during the night? Somebody's getting up at 2 a.m. and shoveling snow and going to sleep when you're getting your ass up. And back in the day when I used to do stuff at night, I guess I always do stuff at night. I appreciated the shows that were up in the middle of the night, or actually happening in the middle of the night, and not just replays of the daytime stuff. So anyway, I appreciate the people that join in and participate in the middle of the night. I don't really do polls to see if people are just awake or if they're working. Oh, there's She Fires. Still awake with one eye open. Can you type in what kind of badge holder these people got you to buy?
We gave a few options, so
I'm not trying to shame your badge, but I don't think anybody, I didn't think yet. I like to post a badge video so I can badge shame everybody who's got a lame badge, but also to offer some insight about badges, because I really think there's a lot to badges. There's Steve. Hey, what's happening? You going? I don't know if you still work in the biz or where you're at now. Steve used to work in an AR manufacturer, and I think he went to SHOT every year for a bunch of years there. But I'm kind of waiting to see what She Fire says. I don't even know where my badge holders are right now, but I think I know where they are. I did get a couple of more last year, and they won't fit in the thing that I usually had them in, which is frustrating because I've had them in here for, I don't know, 6 or 8 years or something like that. So I'm going to have to find a new bag to put them in. But it means I get my bag back. I have them in a Made in the USA, I forget the manufacturer now, but it's a really nice Made in the USA multicam bag. And I've had my badge holders in it for a long time. It was the wide rectangular shape badge. Okay. But no worries, it's middle of the night. Basically what I was saying before is, it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal. And maybe not the most important thing. And then the other thing, since She Fire's out here, and I hadn't heard anybody talk about it before, is bringing your own ear protection. If you have some nice ear protection, bringing that along. So when you're at range day, you're not, what's the word? Like restricted to the little foamies that they're going to give you. Or actually, they're going to give you nicer ones, but so that you're not dealing with the default ones. Oh, no, it's nobody's fault. I was just going to, I was debating on when to do my badge video. I guess this is way too late. I should probably do my badge video in December all the time. Steve saying his favorite one is from SOE back in 14. See, that's the other thing is I don't know. I'm talking to people who are of a wide range of interests, let's say. When I got into everything, or like when I was first going to SHOT Show, I guess, when I got back into guns and sharing them online, I guess, it was the heyday of the global war on terror, and a lot of people coming back, and um, a lot of contracts being created for specialty equipment, radio antennas, and just different interesting apparatuses that needed to be carried by individuals. So they were making, adapting, and developing like all this different web gear, and it was just it was a thing that was happening. So because there was quite an emphasis, and there was quite a bit of new operators being brought in, going through pipelines, and all this gear was being created, and the guys that were coming out or being injured were staying in the realm anyway. So it's just a different era, and web gear, whatever you want to call nylon, was the you know what it is? It's like the red dots of today. Everybody's talking about red dots, and you go nuts talking about different red dots, and you got to worry about what plate you got for your red dot and what brand of red dot you're using and how you shoot your red dot. They didn't have red dots yet, really, so it was more talking about nylon. So for a while there, everybody was worried about nylon. So if you walked in with rip-off made in some sweatshop by low price, low paid people, versus, and especially if it was a cut, like it was a rip-off of a design that was made in the USA by somebody legit, that was a statement. You didn't realize you were making the statement, but the statement was made. And that's why I like to let people know that some people are going to judge you on things that you don't realize. And the badge holder is one of those things that I like to give people the heads up. That's one of those things that they may not realize they're judging you by it, but it's one of those indicators they're using to determine who you are and where you are in the industry. So if you can walk up comfortably with something that costs $25 made in the USA, and they can recognize that, you're coming up and saying, "Hey, I'm willing to I'm in. I'm not. I'm all in. I've anteed in to that little piece." Anyway, I'm repeating from what I was saying before. She says by specialist ID. I don't know that one. What the hell is all this? All right, somebody want to block that? What channel is that one on?
Let's see.
When you simulcast, it's lame because then you got two different channels to. And somebody want to block that? What channel?
I got it.
Thanks. So whoever that was, you're blocked now. You can probably still listen to what we're saying, but first off, all caps is super lame. That's like just being annoying in the world of the internet. And then coming in being off topic is suspect. So right away, you have no respect or like any inclination from the people you're listening to, or you're interrupting really, to have to pay any consequence, any mind. And then what you're saying there is not in the order of the words we use it. So I don't know if English second language or what, but got to work on your presentation, because you just fell short, man. I don't even like Taurus, but I'm going to block your ass from my channel because of your weirdness. So if it's a language thing, then get better at presenting it. But aside from that, has anybody ever heard anything about any of this, or is it just weirdness?
Mm-mm. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, the same. I'm with you, G-Webs. I don't care for Taurus personally, but I don't need to voice my opinion. I keep that to myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would definitely voice my opinion if this was right, but
yeah,
you're presenting it wrong, Sandra.
Exactly.
So present that better, and we'll be good to go. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get plenty of people who hate Taurus or whatever for whatever reason. I don't really hate Taurus. I don't have a problem with Taurus. I like Taurus actually. I just am annoyed when there's like am I allowed to say the Taurus collective? When Taurus can do no wrong, I'm like, all right, because usually the people that are in the Taurus collective hate Glocks, and I'm like, Glock is always wrong, and Taurus is always right. You don't see the problem there? Like you're literally the same. You just jump to the other side of doing the same. So that's usually what I do. Oh, and then I guess every Taurus I've ever owned is broke, but I've also owned very old Tauruses. I don't own any modern ones or anything. And I bought them broke. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I bought a brand new Taurus and it broke. I bought a broke one and it remained broke. I might have fixed it and it broke again. But again, I'm buying old, inexpensive Tauruses back in the day. So I don't really hold it against them today or nothing. And I know that they do a lot of good stuff. Now, if that stuff is correct, yeah, I'll put that on the negative side again and then won't really talk about it. So Sam was saying, well, I was talking specifically inside a SHOT Show. Oh, I think he's just answering that again to help get rid of that thing, right? So thanks for that.
Oh, they ain't cool with scary Taurus. I can't say anything bad. I mean, I bought my daughter a Taurus Millennium G2, so she loves it. Yeah,
it's sort of like having a Ford Escort. There was nothing wrong with them, right? It's just they weren't fancy or flashy, but they still got you where you're going, and they're probably safe. Like there's nothing wrong with them. But like I said, my main thing is when people are like, "Oh no, Tauruses are good for everything." Like Tauruses can make the best grilled cheese sandwich on a Taurus. Like, oh man, Taurus, I slept the best sleep I've ever had was with a Taurus. Like, come on, man, they're just guns.
Yeah. Plus, I've got a video from a couple years ago where a Taurus came out with a new gun. I found a fault with it at SHOT Show.
Well, now I got a weird Russian bot. So you think that's from being up at night or because I blocked the weird Taurus spam?
I think probably because you were up at night. They're probably hitting all live shows in the middle of the night.
Could be. Let's see. Anything? Well, I'm going to probably shut it down then because we're about 90 minutes in and I could talk to Pink for a little bit here off air. But we have been having a good chat. So again, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow, every weeknight at midnight Eastern. Give us some feedback on the format. Tell you what, if you're listening to podcasts out there, not just our show, but like the number one thing you can possibly do for anybody who's podcasting is leave comments and use the little stars or hearts or likes or thumbs or whatever it is on the various platforms, like iTunes specifically, or whatever it's called now, Apple Podcasts. They only pay attention to those ratings. So that's, not critical, but it's super nice to be able to drop ratings on people on those Apple things. Very few people that listen to gun stuff have Apples, so that use the Apple system. So your appreciation is appreciated, or your thumbs up and stuff is appreciated. On the other platforms, though, it's the same thing. Like they're constantly ranking these different things, what they're going to recommend, and they recommend based on ratings and how old the ratings are. So if you want to say hey or say thanks, or if you're already supporting the project and you want to see it succeed, then I do appreciate the people that take a second to leave comments or take even a moment to leave the ratings on the various podcast platforms. I mean, it's definitely the same on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, but even more so on those podcast ones, mainly because most people grab the podcast, they download it, or whatever they do to shove it into their list, and then they move on. They just don't take that moment to do it. So I think that's probably why they favor it so highly. Do you guys have anything to add before we jump out? I know, Milsurp, you got a channel. You got anything coming up?
No, I posted a short yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Days are running together this week. Jeez. Planning on hopefully having a video posted before SHOT. Don't know if that's going to happen. Computers fighting me at home. Other than that, just excited for SHOT. So see what all the new stuff that's going to be there.
Definitely. Pink, you got anything?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks again to both of you for jumping in, and to everybody out there, Fire, Steve, and I don't know who all might still be out there. Feel free to say hey. I'm gonna throw a commercial out for our gear website store. Like I say, we just barely slid in. I do appreciate all the orders at the end of the year there. We just barely slid in, finishing the year out. So now I'm going to be putting out another effort to raise some funds to just enjoy SHOT Show and try to get there on more than, I can get there on $245. I've done it before, can sleep in the van. have to deal with these little puppies a little bit. I might be able to leave them off on family or friends or something, but I'd rather be able to take them up and take them to doggy daycare. So if you're interested, we're going to be doing some ways to say thanks to purchases over at the store, or if you're already purchased out, and consider sharing some links so that other people know about it. And yeah, we'll be putting a link here to the store, and I'll drop a link to the store. I guess I'll be putting a commercial for the store here. We'll be dropping a link to the store, and we'll be doing a big pick your own free patch probably weekend again this weekend.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
I'll just end it with the burrito just woke up here. I've been calling it a mushroom burrito. I know Pink's gonna be okay with that. But
Definitely.
yeah, he feels
You
every
got
time I
mouth-
wake
Got mellow and mushroom. Yeah.
every time, well, I call him Bit, but because his technical name is Bacon Bit, but I refer to him as the mushroom burrito. When I wake up in the morning, it feels like, because I don't know where his legs go, but he feels like this big burrito shape, and he's all soft and squishy because he's all warm and sleeping. And then he does this snoring noise, so he sounds like a big mushroom burrito, kind of like purring on you. And he usually, I don't know how when we fall asleep, but when I wake up, he's almost always jamming his head into my neck, and then body is somehow sticking out perpendicular to me in one way or the other. So it's literally like having a giant mushroom burrito snoozing on you when I wake up. So I don't mind that part at all. It's pretty warm right now because it's so cold out. It's pretty warm having a living mushroom burrito on you when you wake up. All right, that's the end of the show.